Shut up and sit down.
Welcome into another RedOUT Podcast. I'm Jake.
Hey guys, Devin in the house. And for the third time, three-peat, we get a three-peat Jared.
Yeah.
Jared Rosdeutscher in the house.
I'm like the Golden State Warriors as a towel rack.
Yes. Hey, we're fine with it because Jared has all the basketball knowledge and first-hand experience when it comes to Hilltoppers.
Being a cupcake?
Yes, being a cupcake.
I can't say that. I actually like the Golden State Warriors because I root for all the professional Bay teams.
Well, we've always been Yankees fans.
Yeah.
And then, well, I'm not really NBA, but I always liked the Bulls, but that was because of Jordan.
Right, yeah, because I was like raised in that time when I was like super kids, like when that was really popular.
Yeah,
it's like you're a Yankees, Dallas,
and Bulls.
Fan.
That was the 90s, really. I mean, that's 90s in a hat trick. So we're going to do rankings real quick. I got a lot of losses to talk about, but
they mean winners and losers?
Winners, losers, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries.
I wrote it wrong on my paper.
Aha.
No wonder I said that.
Out right.
No, I just read. I'm kind of like Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
Yes. And go. No, I'm just kidding. Western Hills beat Lawrence County in high school football in Kentucky. Now here's okay. No. Yeah, I know. I know. Y'all are going, why are you talking about this? Final score 78-74.
Oh my gosh.
The team that scored 78 is Lawrence County. They had one passing yard. They ran the rest of the time.
One passing yard.
One passing yard. So that could have been like a shuttle pass. Yes, like Georgia Tech. Western Hills had one kid score all those touchdowns.
This one dude.
And he lost. You imagine scoring 74 points and you still lose. How frustrating would that be?
I mean, it's frustrating, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, colleges, pay me.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, guys.
You should have played defense, too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know all about playing offensive defense, Devin.
Yeah, I did in high school, some, until I just started acting fatter.
Yeah.
Now...
blowing out them knees.
Then, I guess we'll go football first. So, Kentucky loses to Georgia, 34-17, which I think most of us kind of predicted.
I didn't know if it was going to be that much of a loss.
I knew it would be. I know they would lose, but I didn't think it would be that bad.
Yeah, I was thinking at most 10 points, maybe
10-12. Yeah, I'll give you that.
So, I mean, whatever. It's still the best season they've ever had.
It's the best season of their lifetime. My lifetime, for sure.
Yeah, we'll never see it again.
Yeah, I mean, Louisville loses to Clemson. Ugly. What'd you say, bud?
Just by a little bit, though. I mean, it's like another 70-point score.
I mean, if they had a whole nother 60 minutes, they could have beat them. But
maybe
no.
another hour, 2 hours, 5 hours.
However long it took for Clemson to get tired and just say, y'all take this.
If Clemson wanted to score 100, they could have.
I think they could have. They had 10 different players score. So, I mean...
and literally drew up plays for his kid. Like, here you go.
I mean, it was like Little Giants.
Yeah, it's exactly
It really was like Little Giants out there, and you're like, oh my gosh. Western loses to MTSU 29-10.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, not a surprise there. It was so disheartening. What was that, 4 years in a row we've been beating the Mutts?
Yeah, it was
it was a pretty good streak. I think it was like at least 3 or 4.
Yeah,
probably 4.
Yeah.
And so, flip side of this, UK men's basketball loses to Duke 118-84, which I was actually surprised. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a loss.
Is that a loss for Kentucky?
Loss for Kentucky, win for your...
I call them the Monstars. That's what I'm going to call them all season. Buddy at work, he goes, dude, they look like the Monstars. And obviously, I didn't stay up to watch the game because it was like crazy late, and I'm an old man. Yeah. But I talked to him this morning. I was like, so how they look, man? He goes, you don't understand.
No, I literally, when my morning routine is getting up and getting on Facebook, I got up and looked on ESPN just to see scores. Because Western, I don't do that late. I'm sorry. I know Jared was... kind of forced to do that, but...
pretty much.
Yeah.
I had a gun against my head.
Yeah. It was a long Florida gun sight going straight for you.
Straight from Tampa.
But, that game was way too late. Both of those, Western and UK's, and...
Goes back to what we were talking about last week with the whole Pac-12 sports and stuff. I mean, that's one reason why I could never get into it. Never.
Exactly. I mean, it's hard enough to be an East Coast fan of a West Coast because you don't watch the games.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that they try to sell like Pac-12 after dark. It's like, no, it doesn't make it cooler that I have to sacrifice like I'm not gonna take the day. Maybe in a few years, if I get a promotion or something, I get some more vacation days.
Yeah,
you know, maybe then I'll like take a Tuesday off.
Yeah, I don't see that happening for you.
That's not gonna happen. Well, first, because
yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to take a Tuesday off. They're just gonna give you more to do
on Wednesday.
Yeah, on Wednesday. So it doesn't make it. But just God, no, it's not cool that nobody can watch your games, Goofy.
Yeah, and the only people that can be fans are people on the West Coast. I mean, that's why they're so isolated.
Yeah. East Coast bias. Yeah, well, don't start your games at 8:30 your time. Yeah. Understand the rest of the country's trying to watch, and it's not like these kids have anything else to do. Like they're not in class at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Yeah. You could start at 8 Eastern.
Well, and then of course you start getting into commuters, and I mean, like it takes an hour to drive anywhere around LA. Not that I have any personal experience about that, but just from I don't care to. Hey, man. But that's
Jared, you ever been to LA?
I've never been any further west than Oklahoma, so no, I'll pass.
I've been to Anaheim, which is nice, just north of LA, where Disneyland is. That's pretty.
Never been to Anaheim. I've never been to Cali, period, but I don't really care to.
I'd like to go. If I go back, I'd like to go to Northern California, where all the redwoods are. That'd be pretty.
I think so too.
Yeah, but not LA. Southern California can go die.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just drift off into the ocean.
Just fall into the ocean and form your own little country.
They tried to do that.
They did. I'm sure
Northern
they did.
California tried to become its own state because they were tired of paying the taxes.
I did know that. Yes, I did know that. Surprisingly, I watched that awesome show on Travel Channel, How the States Got Their Names, and then that was one of those. That was one of those little quirky facts. WKU plays FAU next week.
Jerry, we gonna win?
No. Unless all the Pickens convicts get arrested again, I mean, probably not.
Okay, so maybe we can send them to the Kentucky Street Apartments, because apparently that's where all the weed is.
Yes.
And get them all arrested. We'll call some of the boys we know down in Bowling Green on the sheriff's department. Did you know Peanut lost last night?
Did he really?
Oh, that's insane. After
Peanut
40
lost.
years.
Forever. He lost last night. Which is
gosh. Yeah, I mean, you need a new person in there, but of course, for our friends that are on the sheriff's department, that's not... You don't think it's going to matter? You think they'll keep them? Okay.
They can't do that anymore. There's a law against it.
Oh, they can't do that?
They can't just fire everybody anymore. Yeah, there's a civil service law back in the 70s. Can't do it no more.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
But maybe we could get all of Kiffin's convicts arrested at the Kentucky Street Apartments, and then they'll have to serve a 1-game suspension that can be the next game.
Why can't they just do like the old dirty cops used to do? They'd pull people over and they'd be like, "Hey boy, what's this in your pocket? This looks like some weed."
Sprinkle a crack on.
Yeah, exactly. What's that on your nose? Smack. Smack him around the face with crack, and you're like, "What the heck is going on?" Well, got to put him in jail. Sorry.
Did you ever see that dude? It was all over the internet forever ago, who got arrested for having meth, and it turned out it was a bag full of kitty litter. Did you see? No, does nobody remember that?
No, I do not remember that.
I didn't see that either.
No, there's a really funny mugshot of this dude who's just grinning. It's like the mugshot of a guy who knows everybody's about to have to eat crow.
Yes.
Because it was literally like a big old bag, and it was blue, of like kitty litter, and they said it was meth, and so they took him in on meth. Because and it was like on his dash. Like, what kind of dummy's gonna have 7 pounds of meth on his dash?
Okay,
and it's like this much. Like, you guys can't see this. This is an audio medium.
Yes,
but a big old bag.
It's a bag of like cat litter. Yeah,
that was just like a Ziploc. Like, I don't know what kind of.
Why was it in a Ziploc? Is my confusing part.
That was my question. Like, dude, why? I have a cat. I buy kitty litter.
Yeah,
I'm buying a bucket.
Yeah, but you don't buy it from a dude who sells it in Ziploc bags.
I do not.
In Huntington, West Virginia, you never know.
It was either there or Florida.
Yes, those would both fit. The only time I've ever been nervous about driving around with something that was in a bag was I had lime, like you spray on stuff.
Yes, it's white.
We had a raccoon get run over in front of the business I work at, so I had to dispose of it for some reason. And I put it in a bag.
Crap jobs.
Yeah, basically. I scoop him up, put him in a bag, and I took him to the back part, and I thought, I've got like 3 Ziplocs full of lime. I could just see getting pulled over, and they go, "What's in the bag?" And I go, "Lime." And they go, "Yeah, right. Step out of the car, sir."
Or also, like, serial killer much? You got a bunch of lime
I know,
to dissolve
a shovel.
I got a shovel, a tomahawk.
A garbage bag and lime. And they're going to be
the
like...
garbage bag smells bad.
Yeah, obviously. And you're like, oh my gosh.
So Devin is a poor man's Dexter, we now know.
Yes. That would explain a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what to say about the FAU game. We're gonna go lose by way too much, and it's gonna be sad. And we're gonna keep. I don't even know if we're praying for 2 wins at this point because I don't care because you have to get rid of them.
The only one that you've got left that's a chance is UTEP,
and that's a toss up.
And I don't even know if it's a toss up at this point. That's the sad part, because we thought that Sorry, I'm kind of glancing here. We thought Old Dominion was going to be a lot closer, which it was a close game, but
that's true though.
It was depressing. Charlotte, we thought was going to be a lot closer, but it was not. I mean,
it's just bad. I mean, UTEP beat Rice last week in the 34-26.
Yeah, and I heard it was a pillow fight game.
It looks like it.
Jared, what's your thoughts, buddy?
It's not going to be pretty. I mean, not really. Boca Raton's pretty, but the game will not be pretty at all.
I wouldn't mind going to Boca Raton. Boca sounds nice.
Didn't they have on their sidelines saying how far away the beach is? It's only 300 yards away from the beach, to try to distract people? Because I remember that was something they used to do. It was either them or FIU. I can't remember which.
I do remember that. I don't know if you guys were paying attention when Florida Gulf Coast, when Dunk City was the thing. The year they made that Sweet 16 run, I think they got to Sweet 16, right? Jared, do you remember that?
Yeah, that was Sweet 16.
Yeah, and they went to Sweet 16 and lost. But anyways, they were a teeny tiny little college, and their enrollment quadrupled overnight because during the lead up, they started showing pictures of their campus, and it's legitimately on the beach. There's sand next to the buildings, and people were like, "Oh my God, you mean I can go live on the beach and go to college?" Yes, please.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest sale though for those schools is you're that close to the beach, and they're like, you know what?
It's you got to be in Florida, but at least you have to be on the beach.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's not like Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Tampa's different than East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, it's Gulf
Coast, Atlantic is different, but so I feel like it's going to be a bad game. I mean, I think they're going to school us. Kiffin's going to come in and be the smart A that he is, and we're just going to be having to eat it.
It is interesting to see the shine come off of him a little bit because at the beginning, y'all remember at the beginning of the season, we were all FAU's going to run this, and they're not. They're just middle of the road.
Now I can remember when when we played in their stadium, and I remember Jack Dole was there, so I want to say it was 10 or 11, and oh my gosh, it was really cool. Of course, we beat them, but it was gosh. With the one who gave us patience.
You
haven't seen the meme? Jared knows what we're talking about.
The one who gave it. I'm so lost.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my phone. For those of you
I
who
was
are
really proud of Fletcher for that one, because usually I'm the one that's always making all the memes like that, but he pulled that one out, and I was like, good job.
Yeah, no, the only one I've seen recently in the channel was the Last Stand of Sanford sort of thing.
Yeah, that was
That's pretty good.
Sorry, Jake is now reading the meme.
The one who taught us patience. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
of course. Read the comment.
Okay,
Echoes Looper's comment on this.
But you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna say this: Cam was overrated and did not perform like I thought he was going to be at the end of that season, or at the beginning of that season. And he talked all this mad love about Mike Sanford. Okay, dude. Well, why don't you go and play for whatever team he's going to go coach at in the CFL or Australian rules football, because you're not on a roster because you weren't that good. So you can talk all this mad trash that you want to, but you can't back it up.
I can respect him for being loyal to him because he was his coach. I can understand.
But he's not even really his coach because he brought him in for 1 year as a transfer.
I understand, but he's got loyalty. That's fine. You want to be loyal to your coach. But you got to see the writing on the wall. The dude's gone.
Yeah, it ain't a hoe move. It's an honest move. If hoe stands for honest something, then maybe.
Honest over everything.
There you go. Honesty over everything. If that's true, if that's what he meant.
That's what he meant. Yeah.
Then props to you. But if he meant hoe, I'm not even going to go in. I thought about 40.
Like a lady of the night.
Well, I was actually going to dig, but that's fine.
We'll just leave it at that for the explicitness of our channel, so we don't get that deep.
Oh, I was just going to be mean to him, but I'm not going to do that.
No, we're not going to attack him because he's a good kid. He's just being loyal. Yes, I agree. But of course, FAU 20-point favorite. Sad. I'm going to cry the entire night. I don't know if I'm going to cry or if I'm just going to sit there and just loathe.
Jared, you know how sometimes
you'll see in my tweets,
like bad things happen, and like our Irish ancestry just says, "Okay, don't deal with this pain.
Just drink it away.
just take it. Take the little box that's like where you put your emotions and stuff it way down deep in there. Cover it with beer and alcohol and like carbs.
Yeah,
and then you'll die, and then it's fine." Is that how you deal with stuff? That's how I deal with stuff.
Pizza, but I mean, yeah,
carbs,
Carbs, candy, chocolate, ice cream.
All that little stuff. Things, but you don't try to feel it. You just stuff it down, and then eventually it'll be okay because we'll just die and it'll be fine. You just black out.
That, like life perspective, I like that.
Right? Steve. Yeah, just stuff it down deep and don't deal with it. It'll be fine.
That's great life advice that'll lead to somebody going postal one day. Yeah, that's awesome.
You should never take advice from a. No. From somebody on a Cut Rate Western podcast.
No.
If you need professional help in any way, there are hotlines for that, and you should call them.
Yes. Of course, let's see. Have we talked women's yet?
No, we haven't. Women's basketball. It's exciting that they started regular season play.
Yes.
It's sad it had to be against the number 5 team in the country.
Which is bittersweet for you, but...
I mean, no, it's always Western over everything. I think Jeff Wall's a good dude. He's a good coach, and I like to see the I'm still gonna call them lady cards. I don't care. They're lady cards. I don't care if Louisville gets mad. I like to see them win, but you bet your butt I don't like to see them win at Western. Like that's no. I don't care who's playing Western. Western over everything.
I would rather have seen the girls beat the number 5 team, but it's kind of like football playing FAU this weekend. We knew they were probably going to lose, but we were hoping they'd win.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, you want them to win. You want them to do well. And to shock the nation, beating number 5 Louisville would be awesome.
And they kept it close for quite some time. They had some spurts of stuff, some scoring, tying everything together that was really, really good. And they got within 5 and 6 a couple of times, but then Louisville would just hit 2 or 3 threes and then just go way back out. And it's just Devin is literally here just rocking back and forth and making a squeaky noise, and I have no idea why, except he likes the squeaky noise.
Yes, it's just
irritating. I was wondering what that was.
That's literally him just going back.
Yeah, I'm literally sitting in my desk or my little chair, and just there it goes.
Why? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Because we're 5-year-olds, that's why.
Because I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey all day, and it just reminds me of the ocean. Yeah, you get to do a ship thing on there. You get your own ship, and you get to play I always pretend like it's...
like you're a pirate?
No, not a pirate. Troy.
Like Troy.
The movie Troy, yes, because that's literally the ship you sail.
Good movie.
So you get to go to town on either Greeks, Athenians,
or... It's called a bireme.
That's a trireme.
You guys have triremes?
Well, I've got triremes, not biremes. Biremes are small and pansies, and they usually come in 2s.
They're not.
I know they're smaller.
2 decks of oars. Well, we're getting way deep into my Rome Total War knowledge crap. Yes. But no, the women lose to Louisville. It was 102 to 80.
102-80.
It's one of those things where you're going up against a top 5 team. You know what's probably going to happen. But there were positives. It's not a completely negative.
No, not at all. You got to stretch your legs against the big dogs. See how you match up. See your strengths and weaknesses.
Now, Jay, were you able to catch any of the game, or were you like me and following our loyal? Who was at the game?
Was Matt.
Our loyal Matt doing all the tweetering.
Yeah, I wasn't able to see any of the Lady Tops game, but I mean they kept it close pretty good in the first half. I did get to see the score. It wasn't too bad at the half, but I mean that second half is what killed them.
Well, I mean,
and that happens against good teams. You're talking about they're a lot deeper than we are.
Yeah.
That's something. I mean, we saw it, in the men's game as well. Once you start going, 5v5, okay, maybe you can hang, but once you start getting to the 6th, 7th, and 8th people on the bench, that's when you really start seeing the difference.
Yeah, and we just don't have the depth, the strength of depth as they do, and it's okay. We'll be playing Oklahoma next, and when is that? The 9th at 8 p.m. So that'll be Friday. at 8 o'clock. I guess it's Central. No, Eastern. Sorry.
Interesting. Yeah. Central time. But yeah, no, that'll be good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Then they play Iowa, who's number 13.
Dude, their strength schedule's gonna be crazy this year.
Yes. Last year we kind of made fun of them because their schedule was weaker, playing like Mississippi Valley State and some of those, but this is a legit schedule. Yeah. Let's see, who else do we have that's ranked so far? Oregon State, the Beavers, which is hilarious. Is that not just the most ironic name? Okay.
They have a turnover chainsaw.
Would they be the Lady Beavers?
Oh, I don't know. Probably not. Jared's over here like, I don't even want to be a part of that conversation.
I think
he's just giggling. That's why he's turned his mic off and he's laughing. That's what he's doing.
I was pretty sure a minute ago I thought he fell asleep. So
talking about triremes.
Well, he was like, I said something and he was like, "Yeah, Jared, what do you think of that?" Yeah,
Well, he did say I'm watching the whole darn game.
Yeah, I know. I can't. I'm kind of giving him grief for that. They play Iowa. They play Oregon State. Notre Dame. They got number 1 Notre Dame on the 19th of December.
Dude, Notre Dame. Didn't Notre Dame win the championship last year?
I don't know. Do you know that, Jared?
Yeah, they did. They had that miraculous game-winning shot at the very end to win.
Yeah. Yes, I do remember that now.
Yeah. I remember that. I watched Louisville lose in the Final Four at a bar last year.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I would want to go watch it.
State. I don't know. We were just out and it was on. All the girls were talking. I was watching basketball.
I was going to say, apparently we're first in Conference USA.
0-1. First in Conference USA.
Well, that's what it says on ESPN. It's got us first in Conference USA, which can't be right.
I mean, nobody else may have
played. I guess it's because of nobody's played conference play. Yeah. But we've got people that have played. Florida Atlantic lost. Florida International lost.
So did we just, lose to the best team?
I guess that's what it is. UTSA won. Sorry. Southern Miss won. Old Dominion won. And Louisiana Tech won. Huh. But I guess everybody's tied for first, technically.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, it's just one of those things.
But it should be an exciting season. Again, strength of schedule is always key when it comes to the end of the season. And we've kind of gotten hosed a few times. The last couple times they were in the NCAA tournament with the seeding, I've thought. So if they can string together a decent season, which I have no reason to believe they won't, especially once we get through playing some of these ranked teams, there's no reason why they shouldn't have a decent seed coming out of the conference.
I completely, as Matt would say, I completely agree. Devin always agrees.
He's such an agreeable man.
I typically agree. There's not a lot to rock the boat about. There are some teams that you kind of scratch your head at that they're playing them. I think Arkansas Little Rock, I think that's who that is. They got Bellarmine, I'm guessing. There's a few little of those, but you need those to pad the schedule a little bit because you can't be playing all the number ones like Kentucky did. Kentucky playing Duke, who got monstered last night.
They're going to be.
And you know what? That's the funniest thing about that is I picture Zion Williamson as the orange one.
Is you know which one the orange one is? One?
Yes, the big fat one.
Yeah. Okay, here's the deal, Jared. I don't know how you feel about this. Calling Zion Williamson fat, that is such. The dude is dunking from the free throw line at this point, and he weighs 285 pounds.
He weighs 285 pounds. I don't give. How many basketball players do you know weigh 285 pounds though?
There's only one player in the entire NBA that weighs more than him, and that's good old Bobby or whatever over on the Clippers. I mean, he's 7'3" and 290. So for him to be 6'7" and 285, to be able to be that athletic is just ridiculous.
Right. That's the thing is that So I was reading an article about it, right? And they were like, oh, you would think that with his 29 freshman points, he actually would have set the Duke record for most points scored by a freshman.
Okay.
And again, no, it would have been. If it hadn't been for R.J. Barrett, who scored 33.
Yeah.
So they set the 1 and 2 top scoring record for freshmen. Oh my god!
Yes.
Yeah. I hate Duke, but I don't know why everyone was kind of undermining them. I feel a little bit because obviously Kentucky is Kentucky. They're always going to be really good. But the team that Duke has together, they say that they have 3 top NBA prospects with Williamson, Reddish, and Barrett. So I'm just how are you not going to No one basically predicted them to beat Kentucky last night, and they demolished them.
Yes, they did.
I personally think Duke is the team to beat right now. They look really legit after last night.
Can they go 40-0?
No, I don't think so. No.
If Kentucky's not going to do it that 1 year, then no.
And I think I do not think they will because somebody will foul out with 3 minutes left and they'll drop a game. But based on what, like, just the highlights that I saw, this is a, you're going to look back on this 20 years ago, this is the best college basketball team we've ever seen.
I won't say best. I mean, they are great. Don't get me wrong. And I mean, you got 1, 2, and 3 right there who are going to be.
I don't think that's ever happened.
No. I don't even think Cal has done it at Kentucky.
No, he definitely hasn't.
No,
he's had a bunch going. He's had like 5 go in the first round, but he's never had 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
they're going to go 1, 2, 3.
Probably,
and that's going to be ridiculous.
So who goes first, R.J. Barrett or
probably
Zion?
R.J. Barrett? Yeah, R.J. Barrett looks better than Zion Williamson as far as like a complete basketball player. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah,
he looks like, I mean, his arm. He looks like he starts for like the freaking Hawks or something. Like it's dumb.
Now, see, my thing is though, it's first game of the season, so there's a long season to go. So I'm not guaranteeing them this title this year because March is crazy.
I don't know if they will win the national. I mean, there are the great teams that don't win national championship. I don't know if they'll win the national championship, but if you had to, like, I don't know what the betting odds opened up this morning, like what they are, but I bet you have to bet $100 to win one right now on Duke.
You'd probably owe them money if you bet Duke, though.
It's no matter
the way the odds go and the way it pays out, you'd probably owe them money still. It'd be like betting on Alabama and you win $1. Would you remember? Yeah. Did you ever hear that story? I think we told it a few weeks back.
Yeah, about how in order to
the dude bet $1,600 on Alabama to beat La Tech or somebody.
And,
it was ridiculous.
Whoever it was, and he gets like a couple bucks.
And he got like $1 just to say he won a bet.
Yeah,
it's like that's so stupid. Okay. Anyway. Men's basketball, I think we kind of touched on it a minute ago, but we'll go into a little detail here. Men's basketball lost to Washington 73-55, and they will play UT Martin next, which somebody here has a lot of UT Martin facts.
Dude, guys, seriously, check out my assessing the adversary article that will come out before that game, because UT Martin has some awesome stuff about them. They have some great facts. They are a storied program with years of tradition. They're awesome. Dude, they had a huge win at the beginning of the game against that St. Louis College of Pharmacy. That's legit a thing.
I was like, that's a team?
That's legit a thing.
I thought that was like an intramural team they just got together.
No, that's absolutely a thing. They're a proper team.
Cool.
And no lie, they beat them by like a bunch, but it turns out that college, the St. Louis College of Pharmacy, they have lost over 100 games in a row now.
Wow. 100 games in a row?
Yeah.
God,
I think it's like depressing. 101 now with losing to UT Martin.
Well, I mean, looking stats-wise, Kentucky. We've been talking UK too much. Western did awesome in the first half.
They did,
36-27, leading Washington, West Coast, East Coast thing.
They had that 20-2 run to end the half, which I thought was really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, so what do you think happened in the second half, Jared?
I mean, honestly, a lot of it is youth. I mean, when you look at Delano Banton last night, I mean, poor kid was struggling pretty bad. I mean, it was his first true road game, first real game. He got the start, which I thought was really interesting, but, I mean, he just wasn't able to contribute a whole lot. But the main thing that I think killed him in the second half, I mean, was getting Dickerson back and getting Thibault back. Those are two big guys. Together, they had 9 blocks just between them, which is ridiculous. And they turned it into kind of a SWAT fest. Like, with that 2-3 zone, Western was trying to penetrate it, and they weren't really getting much out of it. And also, they kind of lost just trying to get the ball to Hollingsworth a lot. Like, he's going to be, like, the guy to go to this year. And him and Bassie, like, they were trying to get it to Bassie in the paint, but, I mean, through that zone, it's kind of hard to get there. But I was really hoping for them to get Hollingsworth the ball more, because he had 10 points just in the first half, and he only got 4 in the entire second half. So I don't know if it was just issues trying to get him the ball or what, but I think that was another thing that killed him a lot.
So do you think losing Murray for that game hurt us more?
Honestly, I don't think any of it is Murray's fault. I mean, maybe with some of the bench players, like replacing Merrick Nelson with him, I don't know how that would have gone if he would have done better than Merrick Nelson did, because, I mean, he still got 10 points. I was really impressed with how he did.
Yeah, that's actually really good for Merrick.
Yeah, and also Horton, he did really good too. Like, he was part of that run that was put together at the end of the first half, but he didn't really do much in the second. So, I mean, it's just all these new pieces, all this youth trying to put all together. It's the very first road game against a top 25 team right now. And I think they had a pretty good showing. It's just they weren't able to get much going offensively in that second half, which is what killed them.
I will have to disagree with one statement you made. Having marijuana and marijuana paraphernalia on your person is kind of your fault.
No, I think he means...
I know. He meant the game, but
yeah. It is.
The situation that led up to it...
Hey, it was in a shoebox in his closet.
Yes. Which, apparently, we all have that stuff in our closet, right? No.
I mean, lots of people do.
No, I don't.
They do in Michigan now.
They do in the Kentucky Street Apartments.
Yeah, they do.
For a little in-depth look at that, you can read my article on the Tower Rack as far as... Well, I guess our article...
All I did was cite the KRS, man.
Yeah, Jake cited KRS for us on the charges. But my big takeaway, I mean, I agree Merrick Nelson and Horton did awesome, but I think Deshaun Murray would have been better against a stronger team like Washington. My thing is, you got the first two games against Campbellsville and Kentucky Wesleyan where they combined it with 12 points and 11 rebounds. I mean, it's kind of like, ugh. And I know they did better this game, and they are young. They are coming along, but I think we need Murray to try and open up that 2-3 zone.
See, the thing that scares me the most, and I don't know, one of the guys on Twitter was like, yeah, it's just I'm not worried about these early season losses. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm not saying I'm worried about early season losses. What I'm worried about is that I don't want it to come down to a conference championship game. I think we absolutely can win the conference championship, but I don't want it to come down to that. I'd like to see this program get in that large bid. I think they're very capable of it. But the problem that I see after having watched this game, or at least, following this game, is that we don't have enough consistency at the point right now to challenge or to get good, decent wins in some of these Power 5 non-cons, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at... I'm not even throwing Arkansas in there because Arkansas is not that good. I mean, a road win against a Power 5 team is good, but I don't know, like strength of schedule wise, however the net's going to calculate it. I don't know if that's actually going to be considered like a quadrant 1 or 2 win. But you need to get Wisconsin. You need to get that St. Mary's. You still need to get the Arkansas, and you need to get some of these wins. The West Virginias of the world prior to Bearden coming back. And I think they'll make strides. I think it's a great learning experience for Ben. I think Josh Anderson's just still hungover from not starting and the disorderly conduct, like punishment. Okay, fine.
So it could be literal hangover.
I don't think he's still hungover. He's a young guy. They bounce back from that way too fast.
Stat-wise, I mean, Western shot right with Washington. Even had a higher 3-point percentage than Washington.
Which was really built on the first half. And we saw that last year. That's something that's just going to bug me this year if they fall into that trap again, is like, hey guys, look, I know that you're doing good from 3, but when it starts to go cold, unless your name is Jared Savage...
Jared the Savage.
Yeah. Then quit. And throw it to Bassey.
But, I mean, turnovers, they killed us on turnovers.
Well, they have probably the best... I mean, that Thibault kid is probably going to be one of the best. I mean, he led the nation in 3-point block shots last year. He's Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year last year. He's going to be one of the, and I said that in my article, he's going to be one of the best defensive players, and the havoc he's able to cause is just stupid.
Yeah. Of course, 2-3 zone, they put the handcuffs literally on Bassey.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, they just locked him down, and that's the way they beat us. I'm sure that'll probably be like their least effective defense throughout the rest of the season, but with Western shooting 38% from 3-point, they only shot 20%. I mean...
And Bassey can shoot a 3 too, so I mean, just put everybody on the perimeter and don't even go inside the paint.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. Is just pulled everybody back and just throw it up. Yep.
What's Stansbury doing? We're not sure. We've never seen this before.
I love the fact that Jared kind of pulled a Charles Bassey and just ran out there and shot a 3, just yelling that out. Charles Bassey can shoot the 3. Whoosh.
Yeah, pretty much. Kobe.
Yep, got it.
Do people still yell Kobe? Is that still a thing?
No, I think you're old.
I think some people do. I like to mix it up, so like very intentionally. I always yell at Antetokounmpo instead, just because it's way more fun to say. But I mean, people still say Kobe.
Well, positive for Western, we have a 93.7% chance to beat UT Martin, and they are the Skyhawks.
I have fun facts about why they're called the Skyhawks too.
Go for it. Shoot us one.
Well,
shoot us one fun fact before your article.
Oh, okay. So the Skyhawk thing, like, they actually were confused as to what their mascot was back in like the 50s and 60s. So they were initially something about like pilots, like after World War II.
That makes sense. Okay.
Which is why they have
looking at the logo
goggles,
makes sense. Yeah.
But they didn't intend for it to. They wanted it just to be a Skyhawk, but people thought it was in relation to the World War II stuff, but it wasn't. And there was like this overlap between people that thought it was a bird and people that thought it was an actual pilot. And so sometime between then and now, they just kind of smushed it together and were like, yeah, it's a bird with goggles.
It's a bird with goggles. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to.
I was taking a drink, Dr. Pepper. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. It's like we stayed up and watched that game in her slap hand.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I did not. I went to bed.
I did too.
Sorry, brag, Jared.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jared. I knew that was not going to happen.
I went to sleep at midnight because that is when I finished my recap and everything.
See, you're on Central Time, so that'd been 1 o'clock our time.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I'm too old to do that now. I can do that, but I don't want to.
If I have the day off the next day, it's fine.
Yeah, well,
I get on a Friday. I mean, I'm still like falling asleep at 1 a.m. Like, I'm not doing. I'm like out.
I'm dragging, and the next day I'm a grump, and I don't have any problem admitting that. And it's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, nothing is wrong with me.
Give me a cookie.
You stayed up too late, didn't you? No. Just walk off.
Get a juice box and go nap.
Exactly. So, gonna do our rankings now. Embarrassing moments that happened to us on the Hill. Well, I guess not technically on the Hill, but dealing with Western.
Go, Jared.
Oh boy, y'all lock in. This is gonna be fun. Okay, so I was in the Red Wave at Western, which is like the student union thing that you join as like a big athletics fan. It gets you like some different perks or whatever going to all the sporting events, and like I always wanted to do one of the halftime things, like at a basketball game or football thing. Like, man, that's so cool! Like the half court contest. I feel like I could dream one. That'd be sick. But I was I remember it was a doubleheader. It was the Lady Toppers playing Eastern Kentucky, and then the guys I think played some like FCS schools like Alabama State or whatever. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go get a double injection of basketball. I love this. So during the Lady Toppers game, like one of the guys on the Red Wave comes up to me like, hey, do you want to be in our halftime thing? I'm just like, yeah, sure.
So you didn't ask what it was?
No, I didn't really ask what it was. Oh, I think I may have. But it was the one where it was the money grab, where they put you basically at the free throw line, they blindfold you, and they spread out all these dollar bills around you. But there are a few $100 bills mixed in with it, but you can't tell because you're blindfolded. So what I do is, all right. So just what I'm wearing in general to games, like I wear.
Jerry,
like,
why is it always what you're wearing with us? What is the deal?
Yeah, we're good.
I can put the picture if you want it, because my friends at Pet Band got plenty of pictures. It was bad. But I was wearing skinny jeans and tucked my Western shirt in, and I stuck the money on my shirt. That way I could grab as much money as possible. So they blindfold me, stick me on the free throw line, and I'm just like grabbing for money. And everyone in the Pet Band like pretty much knew who I was, and they were all yelling at me a different direction that I should go. Like, I know how it feels for free throw shooters on the road when everyone in the student section is yelling at you, like what that feels like.
All I can picture is The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's
yeah. But see,
$1, Bob.
That's what led to the worst one that I had. It was the spring football game of 2016. So the main guy in the Red Wave knew who I was pretty good because through Twitter, and obviously that incident, he was there for that.
I love that you call it an incident.
Another thing I forgot to leave out is that I was getting everybody hyped up. I was like, come on, let's go. I was like, give up in my heart, trying to get crowd noise, which was stupid in retrospect because I couldn't hear anything. But me being the crazy person that I am, I got selected. I didn't put my name in for this one. I will say this publicly, is that it was a contest to catch a drone. You would catch a punt at halftime of the spring football game, and whoever caught the most punts won a drone, like $1,000 drone. Like, this was nice, but you had to put your name into the contest at one of the student gates in order to be eligible. And it's like, I don't really want to do that. But I still got selected somehow because with the prior knowledge they had of me like just acting a total fool. They're like, man, we need to get Jared to do this.
Like, he's not gonna win, but it's gonna be funny.
But I thought it was just a total sham at first. I was like, why did I get selected for this? And I was down at the field, which is pretty cool. And so it was my turn. Ladies first. It was me versus this girl that used to play softball. And she goes first. She doesn't catch any. And they're using the little thing. I don't know what it's called, Devin. You probably do. You're the equipment dude.
The jugs machine?
Yeah, that. They were using that for the punts, I guess you could say. And so it was my turn. And apparently this is what shocked me the most, is that the announcer for Western football flawlessly said my last name without even, thinking about it. I didn't even think he had my information because I didn't register, but he flawlessly said my last name, which is still respect. Good job. But, okay. So the first punt, I'm like, oh, cool, this is going to be easy. I mean, I've played some football, backyard stuff. This is fun or whatever. They shoot that thing. That thing's coming at me like a freaking projectile missile. Like, me being the goofy person that I am, just instinct, I wait for a fair catch. And then I try to grab it. And that thing was, coming at me at, at least 60 miles an hour, it felt like. And it bounces off of my hands, 10 feet in the air. And because it was rigged because the footballs were the super overinflated ones that have no grip whatsoever. So I was trying to give it a punt. I got so close to actually catching one, but neither of us ended up catching one. So it came down to a 50-yard dash. And I will say, I am not the fastest human being on the face of the earth. And the girl against me used to play softball. So we start running, and she absolutely smokes me, not even close. Not even close. So I was like, oh, good job. Congratulations. I was a good sport about it. But I go over back to where I was sitting by the marching band, and they start booing me, saying I'm a disgrace to the music floor. I just got obliterated by this girl. I'm just like, hey, just got to let the girl win, man. You got to do the right thing. You got to do the right thing. And it was so bad that even Greenwell tweeted about it. When he was still with Bowling Green Daily News, I got his at Greenwell tweet talking about how bad that was.
That's awesome.
How bad it was.
I probably hold the slowest 40-yard dash time in WKU history, even worse than Brandon Dowdy, so he's welcome.
So he's back. There you go. Well, of course, Brandon Dowdy's. Are you talking about when he first got there or when he left at 30?
Either.
Yeah, either. Okay, Jake, I'll let you go next. I've got two now that I've got one just from Jared's story, but go ahead.
Dude, okay, so I will say that most of my embarrassing experiences at WKU are not necessarily related to the fact that, I could have been at any college. It was just collegiately, it wouldn't have mattered that I was, it just so happens that most of them revolve around, the bar scene at Western, right? So, the one that I'm thinking of is, it was a friend of mine's 21st birthday, and we all went out to Hilly's. Shout out to Hilligans. If you guys want sponsors, we will absolutely take that money.
Yep.
And we obviously do what you do on 21st birthday, which is consume various amounts of beverages that make you inebriated. Well, it just so turns out that also, at the time, one of my buddies was really into, tobacco pipe and, cigar smoking. I'd start with tobacco, because we didn't do the other stuff. And so, I had, 2 or 3 of those cigars as well.
Ugh.
Yeah. And they were cheap, too, just awful cigars. And so, as the night went on, continued to get drunker and drunker and drunker, it turned, the friend who turned 21 left. And I was still just there, because I saw some girl from AGD, who, I don't know if you guys ever have those people, but there's sometimes, when you're out at a bar, and for some reason you always see this one person. It's like they're just some little gremlin that pops up out of the bed.
Yeah.
And this girl was. She was like a 4
She was a bar gremlin?
Pretty much. She was a tiny Asian girl who could drink more than most grown men. An outrageous human. Anyways.
Sometimes they're good at that.
Seriously. So I was sitting there talking to her or whatever, but I got way too inebriated, and I started smoking the cigars like cigarettes, which is a bad thing to do. You're not supposed to inhale them very much, you just kind of puff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was bad. So I began to get ill. Well, then I got in a fight over the cigar. Somebody told me something about Cuban cigars. I said, no, they're Honduran, because they were. And then he started cussing me. And then, so that's what happened. He asked me, are those Cuban? I said, no, they're Honduran. He begins to cuss me. And then Hilligan's little chubby bouncer dude with the mag light asked me to leave. So I left. But the problem was that I was so drunk that I couldn't remember my way home.
Oh my gosh.
So I lived, just for reference, at some Adams Street apartments that were about a block and a half, just as the crow flies, away from Hilligan's. They were at the corner of, like, Kentucky and, I don't know, where the Kelly Autism Center is now? That's where they were.
Yeah.
To Hilligan's. It's like a 4-minute walk. So I just take off up the hill. I eventually make my way to the statue of Mr. Cherry.
Oh my gosh.
I realize finally where I'm at. I'm like, oh, I know which way to go. I walk up the hill to him, back down the hill to what is now like the it used to be gravel lot. If
So
you guys
like
remember.
Van Meter and all those.
Down from like the lot directly down from Van Meter. So I could see where we always tailgate now. Like I don't think it's the Kentucky Street lot. I don't think it's Adams is the middle one, right? Whatever.
Okay, yeah.
One of those. I'm too intoxicated to like hop. I can't think to go down the stairs. Oh no. I sit down on my butt and like hop over the little lip of the thing, fall down, throw up on myself.
Oh my gosh.
So just imagine watching this 21-year-old just dummy trying to find his way home like a little lost sheep. And finally, I get home, it's like 3-something in the morning. I don't have my keys. So my buddy has to let me in.
Oh, no.
I get inside, and he's like, okay, Jake, here's your keys, because he's a nurse practitioner. Like, he takes care of that. He's Mama Bear. And then all of a sudden, he's like, okay, he goes, okay, so I got your keys. He's like, taking your shoes off. Okay, where's your wallet? I was like, I don't know. With my damn wallet to place. So he escorts me all the way back to Hilligan's. Like, basically dragging me, because I'm not in any shape to go, to get my wallet, which, thank God, the lovely people at Hilligan's, like, are very used to this level of shenanigans.
Yeah.
They had kept my wallet behind the bar where I had left it and like handed it to me like, it's okay, buddy, and I'm just like, thanks, guys, and then just drunkenly stumble back. And I had to work at Best Buy the next day.
Yeah, we know how that ended.
That was terrible.
That's
I don't even talk about that.
Yeah,
God.
that was.
But that was probably my like drunkest, most like just embarrassing, stupid. Like could not walk home when I lived like a block away.
Okay, mine's more related to athletics. Side note, told you so on the Best Buy thing.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, that was awful.
Nightmare.
Yeah. So, 2 stories for mine. When I was a freshman or sophomore, it's when David Wolke played. He ended up, I guess, he injured himself, because I don't want to break HIPAA. He injured himself, and it involved his shoulder and throwing arm. So part of his rehab was throwing with someone. So he had to throw with me.
Oh, good.
Okay. I'm fairly athletic. I think I've got pretty good hands. I can catch the ball. It's a different story when you go from, like, Joe Blow throwing a football in the backyard to throwing with a collegiate quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like, the first day, I was so embarrassed. We weren't throwing in front of anybody. It was just me and him in one of those little side rooms in LT Smith before they made the other side. He throws the ball. I put my hands up. Luckily, it wasn't in front of my face. Hands over my head to catch it, and it goes foomp, right through my fingers. And I mean, it was so bad. It like flew like 5 feet behind me, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And I ran back to get it. Like it felt like my fingers bent all the way back,
like
and I was like,
your wrist.
"Oh my god!" It was so bad. The next day, he brought me gloves, like those catching gloves, and I was like, it was better, but it was like,
thanks, buddy.
I guess one other embarrassing thing I didn't really think about, but Jake brought up. I was in the ROTC class that did the rappelling. I don't think that's embarrassing, but I did the rappelling, and he said my crack was hanging out the whole time.
It was a little bit, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen anyone who wasn't already a rock climber or whatever, like, do that with any sort of grace or dignity. Like some people are definitely worse than others. Like, you were way better than some of those other kids.
Well, I wasn't scared. I didn't care.
Some of those kids, like, straight up just coast down.
Yes.
Like, you just drag them against the side.
I'm telling you, I had an adrenaline rush the rest of the afternoon after that. But my biggest embarrassing thing happened in front of 60,000 people at, which is now K. Rogers Stadium. We went running out on the field when Western played UK, at UK. And I was carrying, all the trainers kind of ran together. I was carrying what they used to call Doc's kit, which is a 2.5 tall by 2 foot wide kit that opens up like a tackle box style.
It's got all that stuff in it.
It's heavy. So I'm running with that. I see the pylon, thinking it's one of those crappy pylons like we have around the end zone. I go to kick it.
Oh, no.
It's a damn metal rod. And so when I kick this thing, I'm running and I kick it. I do a somersault straight over. The kit goes rolling beside me. Everybody behind me is dying laughing. I'm getting up, like, straightening my shirt. Luckily, the kit didn't open, because if it did, I'd have been there all day picking up stuff. And I grab it, and I keep running, and they're like, "Oh my God, did you see Devin Phil? Oh my God!" And they showed it on the jumbotron.
I was going to say, was that like on ESPN too?
No. I don't think it made it on ESPN, but yes, it was. It was like, oh my God!
Dude, if you had got on the not top 10, that would be epic.
Oh my gosh, that would be like my whole life. I would put that on my Facebook profile.
You'd be like touchdown squirrel. Like,
yes, touchdown squirrel.
Best thing to happen to Louisville basketball or football in 3 years.
Touchdown squirrel. Probably that's all I got. You got anything else, buddy?
I don't. Jared, what do you got?
Nah.
He's like, nah. I'm just going to end on that.
That was pretty bad.
He's like, that's pretty
bad. It's kind of interesting to see. I think that you may have me beat a little bit. Yours was in front of 60,000 people, Devin. Mine was only in front of like 6 max.
Yeah, dude, Devin wins.
Football, so.
Yeah, when you brought that up this afternoon when we were talking script, I was like, yeah, I think I got the trump card.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing thing that I could ever think of that happened to me on the hill.
That's so good. That's so good.
I love it. But that's all I've got. You all have a good day, good night, whatever it happens to be.
Hey, we don't know when you're listening to this.
Yeah, we don't know.
We're recording at night. This could be like you could wake up and you could wake and bake to this if you're on WK's basketball team. You know, at
Kentucky Street Apartments. If you are, don't forget to watch the girls play in Oklahoma. The guys playing UT Martin. When is the UT Martin game?
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday. Yeah. Okay. At 7 p.m. Eastern. When's the guys play FAU? Is that Saturday as well?
Probably. I have no idea. I have had selective blackout, like emotionally and physically. So I don't even.
On Central Time.
It is at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock Central. We're probably going to get crushed. So y'all have fun.
It's 20 points. So probably take the Owls in that one.
Take the Owls in that game. I guess the next highlight would be UTEP, maybe, like we talked about.
Hold out hope on hope.
Hold out hope for UTEP, and hopefully the Miners won't come up with anything.
Yeah, they won't strike gold, right?
Yeah. But that's all I've got. As always, guys, remember, go Tops.
Go Tops.
Go Tops.